The illusion of niceness. Have you ever wondered why you bend over backward to be nice, only to feel like people don't take you seriously? You show up with a smile, you agree with everyone, and you bite your tongue even when you disagree. You hold the door, you let people cut in line, you nod along with things that make your stomach churn, all in the name of being nice. But here's the truth most people don't talk about. Being nice doesn't always earn you the respect you crave. Often, it earns you the opposite. Think about it. When you're too nice, people start to assume you'll always go along with their plans. They learn they can cross your boundaries without consequence. They take your silence as agreement and your kindness as weakness. You become the one everyone leans on, but no one really listens to. You become the one who does the work, but rarely gets the credit. The one who smiles, even when your heart is breaking. The one who says yes, even when you desperately want to say no. But let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with kindness. Kindness is a strength. It's empathy in action. It's compassion, respect, and love. But niceness, the kind of niceness that sacrifices your own needs, values, and identity, is not the same as kindness. Niceness is often a survival tactic. It's what you learn growing up to avoid conflict, to please others, and to be liked. It's a mask that hides your true feelings because you're afraid of being rejected or judged. But here's the truth. People can see through that mask, and it doesn't inspire respect. Respect is not given to those who are always agreeable. It's given to those who are real, honest, and unapologetically themselves. It's given to those who stand firm in their beliefs even when it's uncomfortable. It's given to those who value themselves enough to draw the line when someone crosses it. Imagine this. You're at work and a colleague constantly interrupts you in meetings. You smile politely and let it slide because you don't want to seem rude. But deep down you feel frustrated and disrespected. You tell yourself, I'm being nice. But in reality, you're letting that person walk all over you. You're teaching them that your voice doesn't matter. Now imagine you set a boundary. You speak up and say, please let me finish what I'm saying. Suddenly that person learns you value your voice, and so should they. That's the difference between being nice and being respected. So let's shatter the illusion that being nice is the key to respect. Real respect comes from being authentic, from standing in your truth, and from honoring yourself enough to show the world who you really are. This is the first step on your journey. The journey from nice to respected, from overlooked to unstoppable. Stay tuned, we're about to go deeper, and the transformation starts now. The trap of people-pleasing. People-pleasing. It sounds harmless, doesn't it? You just want to make others happy. You want to avoid conflict. You want everyone to like you. But here's the hard truth. People-pleasing is one of the quickest ways to lose yourself. And it's one of the biggest reasons people don't respect you. When you constantly try to please everyone around you, you send a message. Your needs are more important than mine. At first, people might appreciate your helpfulness, but over time, they start to expect it. They come to rely on you to carry their burdens, meet their needs, and smooth over every bump in the road. And what happens to your own needs, dreams, and boundaries? They get buried under the weight of everyone else's expectations. Picture this. You're the person who always says yes. When a friend needs a favor, you're there. When a coworker needs to swap shifts, you say yes. When a family member needs someone to talk to, you drop everything. At first it feels good, you feel valued, needed, maybe even indispensable. But as time goes on, you realize that your own needs are slipping through the cracks. Your health, your time, your energy, they're all being spent on everyone else's agenda. People-pleasing is a sneaky trap because it's rooted in a genuine desire to connect and be accepted. But here's the catch. When you're always trying to keep the peace, you sacrifice your authenticity. You start saying what you think people want to hear instead of what you actually feel. You avoid speaking your mind because you fear rejection. You compromise your boundaries because you're terrified of disappointing someone. But let's face it, no matter how hard you try, you can't make everyone happy. Some people will never be satisfied, no matter what you do. And when you spend your life chasing approval, you become exhausted, resentful, and, ironically, less respected. Real respect doesn't come from being a doormat. It comes from standing up for yourself even when it's uncomfortable. It comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for, and not being afraid to show it. It comes from setting boundaries that protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Imagine this. A colleague constantly piles extra work on your desk because you're the nice one. At first you think, well, I'm just being helpful. But soon, you're overwhelmed. The work is yours, but the credit goes to someone else. The stress is yours, but the reward is theirs. Now, picture yourself saying, "I'm happy to help, but I can't take on more than I already have." That's not rude. That's self-respect. And guess what? Others will respect you too, because you've shown them where the line is. The truth is, the only person you can truly control is yourself. You can't force others to treat you with respect, but you can teach them how to. It starts by breaking free from the trap of people-pleasing and embracing the power of your own voice. This is the journey you're on. This is how you stop being nice and start being respected. Let's keep going. Defining your boundaries. Boundaries, they're the invisible lines that define where you end and the rest of the world begins. They're what protect your time, your energy, and your mental health. Without them, you risk being stretched too thin, overwhelmed, and taken advantage of by those who see your kindness as a weakness. But let's be honest, setting boundaries isn't easy, especially if you've been a lifelong people pleaser. You might worry that people will think you're rude or selfish. You might fear that standing up for yourself will cost you friendships or opportunities. But here's the hard truth. Without boundaries, you can never build a life that commands respect. Think about it like this. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They're about deciding what you're willing to accept and what you're not. They're about defining how others are allowed to treat you. They're about protecting your time and energy so you can invest in the things that truly matter to you. Imagine you're at work and your colleague constantly interrupts you with last-minute requests. At first, you jump to help because you want to be a team player. But over time, the interruptions pile up, your work suffers, and your stress levels skyrocket. If you never draw the line, you're teaching them that their needs are more important than yours. Now picture this. You decide to set a boundary. You say, "I'd love to help, but I need a heads up next time. I can't keep dropping everything at the last minute." That simple statement communicates respect for yourself and for your work. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but trust me, boundaries are a gift you give to yourself and to others. Boundaries also apply to personal relationships. Maybe you have a friend who constantly calls you at all hours to unload their problems, leaving you emotionally drained. Or a family member who expects you to be available for every event, even when you need time to rest. Without boundaries, you end up resentful, exhausted, and disconnected from your own needs. Setting boundaries isn't about creating walls. It's about building bridges that allow for healthy, respectful relationships. It's about saying, "I value our connection, but I also need to honor my own well-being." It's about giving yourself permission to say no when something doesn't align with your goals, values, or emotional capacity. Here's the beautiful thing. When you set boundaries, you teach others how to treat you. You show them that you respect yourself and that you expect them to do the same. You also inspire them to set their own boundaries, creating a ripple effect of healthier, more authentic connections. Respect is earned, not demanded, and it starts with you. By defining your boundaries, you step into your power and show the world that you're not just nice, you're strong, self-aware, and worthy of respect. So, take a deep breath. Look at the areas of your life where you've been giving too much, where you've been saying yes when you wanted to say no. Start small, but start today. Because boundaries are the backbone of respect, and they're the foundation of a life you truly command. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll talk about how to communicate your boundaries with confidence and grace. Let's go. Communicating boundaries with confidence. So, you've defined your boundaries, you've identified what's okay and what's not, what aligns with your values, and what drains your energy. But here's the real challenge. Communicating those boundaries to the world around you. Because let's face it, it's one thing to know what you need, but it's another to stand tall and say it out loud. Most people struggle with this step because they're afraid of conflict. They worry that setting boundaries will make them seem selfish, rude, or uncaring. But here's the truth. Communicating your boundaries is one of the most respectful and empowering things you can do, both for yourself and for those around you. Think about it. When you clearly and confidently express what you need, you're giving others a roadmap to have a healthy relationship with you. You're teaching them how to treat you, and by doing so, you're also giving them permission to do the same in their own lives. That's how respect grows. Now let's get practical. How do you communicate your boundaries with confidence? It starts with clarity. Before you even open your mouth, make sure you're crystal clear on what your boundary is. Vagueness breeds confusion. Instead of saying, I don't really like it when people just show up at my place, say, I need a heads up before someone visits me. Specificity is power. Next, remember that you don't owe anyone a lengthy explanation. Boundaries are not apologies, they're declarations of your self-respect. Instead of saying, I'm really sorry, but I just can't help you this time, try, I'm not able to help with that right now. Firm, kind, clear. You can still be polite without diluting your message. Tone matters too. Boundaries are most effective when delivered with calmness and confidence. If you come across as defensive or angry, people are more likely to push back or get defensive themselves. But if you speak with steady conviction, a calm voice, steady eye contact, and open body language, you signal that you're serious yet approachable. And let's talk about the fear of disappointing others. It's real. We all want to be liked and accepted. But remember, your worth isn't determined by how much you bend to please others. You are allowed to prioritize your mental health, your time, and your goals. If someone reacts negatively to your boundary, that's a reflection of them, not of you. It's also important to anticipate pushback. Some people will test your boundaries, either intentionally or unintentionally. Stay firm. Reiterate your boundary without over-explaining. Consistency is key. When you stand your ground, you show others that your boundaries are non-negotiable. Imagine you're in a work meeting and your boss consistently dumps extra tasks on you without asking. The next time it happens, you might say, I'm at capacity right now, but I can help you prioritize my workload if you'd like. Clear, respectful, confident. Remember, communicating boundaries isn't about being mean. It's about being real. It's about honoring yourself and inviting others to do the same. You deserve to be respected, and that respect starts with how you communicate your needs to the world. Let's stay tuned, because in the next part, we'll dive into how to handle the guilt that often comes with setting boundaries and how to embrace the freedom that comes with standing tall in your own life. Let's keep building your confidence, letting go of guilt and embracing self-respect. Now that you've started communicating your boundaries with confidence, it's time to address one of the biggest obstacles that can hold you back from fully embracing your power. Guilt. Let's be real. Guilt has a sneaky way of showing up when you start prioritizing yourself. It's that little voice that says, am I being selfish? What if I hurt someone's feelings? Or, what if they don't like me anymore? But, let's set the record straight. Feeling guilty for prioritizing your well-being is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. In fact, it's often a sign that you're unlearning a lifetime of conditioning that taught you to put everyone else's needs above your own. Letting go of guilt is essential if you're going to stop being nice and start being respected. Here's the truth. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you keep saying yes to everyone and everything out of guilt, you end up exhausted, resentful, and disconnected from your own values. That's not respect. That's self-abandonment. And the people who truly respect you, the ones who value your well-being, will understand that you're making choices to protect your mental and emotional health. Guilt often comes from the fear of being judged or rejected. But think about it. Do you really want the respect of people who only like you when you're being a doormat? When you let go of guilt, you make room for authentic connections built on mutual respect. You attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not for what you can give them. So how do you actually let go of guilt? It starts with reminding yourself that setting boundaries and prioritizing yourself is not a crime. It's a necessity. Every time you feel that pang of guilt, ask yourself, am I truly doing something wrong? Or am I just uncomfortable because I'm stepping into my power? Most of the time, it's the latter. Now, the powerful strategy is to reframe your guilt into self-respect. Instead of thinking, I feel bad for saying no, shift your perspective to, I respect myself enough to honor my needs. This simple shift in language can transform guilt into empowerment. Practice self-compassion. You are learning a new way of being. You won't get it perfect every time, and that's okay. When guilt shows up, acknowledge it, but don't let it control you. Say to yourself, I see you, guilt, but I'm choosing to respect myself. It also helps to remind yourself that saying no to others often means saying yes to yourself. When you honor your boundaries, you're giving yourself the time and space to grow, to rest, to create, and to be the best version of yourself. That's not selfish, that's essential. And finally, remember that guilt is not a permanent state. It's a feeling that will pass if you keep showing up for yourself. Every time you choose self-respect over guilt, you're strengthening your confidence and showing others how to treat you. Letting go of guilt is not easy, but it's one of the most powerful steps toward building a life that commands respect. Because when you respect yourself, the world learns to respect you too. In the next part, we're going to dive into the power of assertiveness and how to communicate your truth unapologetically. Get ready to stand tall and own your voice. Stay tuned. Embrace assertiveness and communicate clearly. Now that you've started letting go of guilt and embracing self-respect, it's time to talk about one of the most powerful tools you'll ever develop, assertiveness. Assertiveness is not about being aggressive, rude, or overbearing. It's about communicating your needs, thoughts, and feelings clearly and respectfully without shrinking back or second-guessing yourself. Let's be honest. For too long, many of us have confused being nice with being passive. We've been taught to bite our tongues, to go along with the crowd, to avoid conflict at all costs. And while that might have kept the peace on the surface, it's also left us feeling resentful, overlooked, and powerless. Being nice at the expense of your own truth is a recipe for a life lived on someone else's terms. Assertiveness changes that dynamic completely. When you're assertive, you speak your truth without apology. You stand up for yourself with calm, steady confidence. You make it clear where you stand and you give others the opportunity to know the real you. That's how respect is built, through authenticity and consistency. So, how do you start practicing assertiveness? First, get crystal clear on what you want and what you don't want. You can't communicate effectively if you don't know what you're asking for. Take some time to reflect on your values, your boundaries, and your non-negotiables. Write them down if you need to. This internal clarity is the foundation of assertive communication. Next, learn to use I statements. Instead of saying, "You always make me feel bad," say, "I feel hurt when my feelings are dismissed." This shift keeps the conversation grounded in your experience rather than sounding like an attack. It's powerful because it focuses on your truth rather than blaming the other person. Another key to assertiveness is body language. Stand tall, make eye contact, and keep your tone calm and steady. Assertiveness is about energy as much as words. When you own your space and your voice, people notice, and they respond. Remember, assertiveness doesn't guarantee everyone will agree with you or give you what you want, but it does guarantee that you'll respect yourself. And that's where true power comes from. You can handle disagreements with grace, knowing you've honored your own needs and boundaries. If someone tries to bulldoze your boundaries, stay calm and repeat your stance. For example, if someone keeps asking you to do something you've already declined, say, "I appreciate you asking, but my answer is still no." No anger, no drama, just steady, unwavering self-respect. Assertiveness also means knowing when to walk away. If someone consistently disrespects your boundaries, it might be time to remove yourself from the situation. Walking away isn't weak, it's one of the strongest things you can do for yourself. Above all, give yourself permission to make mistakes as you learn this skill. Assertiveness is like a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. Every time you speak up for yourself, you're building that muscle. You're teaching the world that you deserve to be heard, respected, and valued. In the next part, we'll explore the importance of consistency in building respect and how showing up for yourself day after day creates a reputation of strength and integrity. Stay tuned, because this is where the game changes. Cultivate consistency and show up for yourself. Now that you've started to embrace assertiveness and learn to communicate your boundaries, let's talk about one of the most underrated yet powerful habits you can build: consistency. Because here's the truth, one confident conversation won't change your life overnight. Real respect, both from others and from yourself, is earned through consistent action over time. Think about it. Have you ever known someone who's all talk but no action? Maybe they make big promises but they never follow through. Or maybe they say they'll stand up for themselves, yet when the time comes, they shrink back into old patterns. That's why consistency matters. It's the difference between being seen as reliable, trustworthy, and strong versus being seen as flaky, unpredictable, or weak. Consistency starts with the small things. If you've committed to yourself that you'll say no to things that drain you, then honor that promise every single time. Even when it's hard. Even when it's uncomfortable. Each time you follow through, you build a track record with yourself. You're proving to yourself that you can be trusted. And that's the foundation of self-respect. It's also about showing up for yourself in the little choices, day in and day out. Maybe that means getting up early to work on your goals, or saying no to that extra drink at the bar because you know it's not good for you. Maybe it means carving out time each day to exercise, read, or meditate. Every time you show up for yourself, you're telling the world, I matter. My time, my health, my dreams. They all matter. Consistency is also about the way you treat others. If you want to be respected, you need to be a person of your word. Don't make promises you can't keep. Don't say yes when you mean no. If you commit to helping a friend, show up on time and give it your best effort. When people know they can count on you, they'll naturally begin to respect you more. And here's the secret sauce. The more consistent you are, the less you'll need to demand respect. It will naturally flow to you. People respect those who walk their talk. They respect those who are dependable and true to their word. And most importantly, you'll respect yourself. You'll stand taller, walk with more confidence, and radiate a strength that's unshakable. Remember, consistency doesn't mean perfection. You will slip up. You might miss a workout, or let someone cross a boundary, or backslide into old habits. That's okay. Forgive yourself quickly, learn from the experience, and get back on track. It's not the occasional stumble that defines you. It's your determination to get up and keep going. So ask yourself, how can I show up for myself today? How can I practice consistency in the small things? Because those small steps build the bridge to the life you want. A life that commands respect from others and from yourself. In the next part, we'll explore the importance of surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Because no matter how strong you are, the people you choose to walk alongside you will shape your journey more than you might realize. Stay with me, because this is where transformation truly begins. Surround yourself with people who respect you. Now that you've learned to stand up for yourself, set healthy boundaries, and practice consistency, let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle, the people you choose to surround yourself with. Because no matter how strong and confident you become, if you're constantly around people who undermine, disrespect, or drain you, your journey toward respect will be a constant uphill battle. Think of your circle as the soil that nourishes you. If you plant yourself in rocky, dry, and toxic ground, you'll struggle to grow. But if you choose rich, supportive, and respectful soil, you'll thrive. So, let's talk about how to evaluate your circle and make sure the people around you actually respect you and help you become the best version of yourself. You start by asking yourself, who in my life genuinely supports me? Who celebrates my wins without jealousy? Who respects my time, my boundaries, and my dreams? Those are the people you want to hold close. Because their respect fuels your growth. Their energy inspires you to aim higher. They see your worth and remind you of it even when you forget. On the flip side, who in your life makes you feel small? Who interrupts you, dismisses your ideas, or constantly makes everything about them? Who tries to control you or guilt trip you into doing things that don't align with your values? Those are the people you need to distance yourself from. No matter how long you've known them. It's not about being ruthless or cutting everyone off at the first sign of conflict. It's about protecting your energy and choosing relationships that are built on mutual respect. Because every time you allow someone to treat you poorly, you're teaching them that it's okay. And you're sending a message to yourself that your needs don't matter. Respect is a two-way street. Surround yourself with people who listen when you speak, who support your growth, who challenge you to be better without tearing you down. Choose people who hold you accountable, but with kindness and compassion. Choose friends and partners who are proud of your success, not threatened by it. This may mean having some difficult conversations. It might mean setting boundaries with family members who've always taken advantage of your kindness. It might mean ending a relationship with someone who's never truly seen or valued you. These are not easy decisions, but they are essential if you want to build a life that commands respect. And here's the beautiful part. When you start choosing respect, your entire life changes. The quality of your relationships improves, your confidence soars. You no longer settle for scraps of love or attention. You know you deserve the whole banquet. Remember, You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so choose wisely. Let go of the ones who drain you and embrace the ones who lift you higher, because you deserve to be surrounded by people who respect you, who see your greatness, and who inspire you to become the best version of yourself. In the end, respect starts with you, but it flourishes in the company you keep. Choose your circle as carefully as you choose your words, because the people you allow into your life will shape the legacy you leave behind. So go out there and build a life that commands respect, and fill it with people who believe in you, challenge you, and celebrate every step you take toward greatness. That's how you build a life that's not only successful, but truly meaningful. Embrace respect over niceness. Let's bring this all together. You've spent the last several minutes digging deep into the reality of why being nice often backfires, and how choosing respect over simply being liked can transform your life. Let's face it, the world doesn't always reward the people pleasers. It rewards those who stand strong in their convictions, who know their worth, and who refuse to let the opinions of others define them. Being nice, in the sense of constantly seeking approval, often comes at the cost of your own self-respect. It can make you a doormat for others to walk all over. You might think that by always agreeing, by always sacrificing your needs, you're building bridges. But what you're really doing is teaching people that your needs don't matter, that your voice doesn't count, that you're willing to accept less than you deserve. Respect, on the other hand, is built on authenticity, boundaries, and self-awareness. It means having the courage to say no when something doesn't feel right. It means being honest, even if it makes others uncomfortable. It means valuing your time, your energy, and your dreams enough to protect them fiercely. And it means understanding that you are not here to please everyone. You are here to live a life that aligns with your truth. When you choose respect over niceness, you step into your power. You stop giving others the keys to your happiness and self-worth. You stop seeking validation from the outside and instead find it within yourself. You begin to attract people who respect you, who value your presence, and who admire your strength. These are the people who will stand beside you, not because you've made their lives easier, but because they see the light in you that can't be dimmed. Let's be clear, this doesn't mean you should become cold, arrogant, or dismissive. True respect includes kindness, but it is a kindness rooted in strength, not fear. It's about showing up as your authentic self, unapologetically. It's about treating others with dignity while never compromising your own. It's about drawing the line and making sure others know where it is. So as you move forward from today, ask yourself, are you living a life where people respect you? Or have you been living to keep everyone else happy? Are you staying silent to avoid conflict, or are you speaking your truth even when it's hard? Are you giving your time and energy to people who build you up? Or are you allowing yourself to be drained by those who only take? It's time to choose respect. It's time to embrace boundaries. It's time to build a life that commands admiration, not just empty approval. Because at the end of the day, respect lasts. Respect makes people remember you. Respect empowers you to make your mark on the world. So stop being just nice, start being respected, and watch how your life transforms. Now go out there, stand tall, and demand the respect you deserve, because you are worth every single ounce of it.